We're in command again today, and we're in the North Sea because this is pretty much a natural amphitheatre for submarine warfare, and we're going to be looking at a few of the submarines that Command portrays today. Classic sort of Cold War setting, I suppose. The way that this is going to work, we're going to set up a little arena, and we're going to pit several submarines against each other. Obviously, the submarine, the nation that people most associate with submarines really since the Cold War, again, like most other things military, is the US. So we're going to start off using their slightly older generation of Los Angeles nuclear attack submarines, and we're going to pit those against sort of analogous submarines from different nations of the same era, and then we're going to move on to the slightly newer Virginia class submarine, and we're going to pit that against its contemporaries. All but two are going to be nuclear powered, and the final two are going to be conventionally powered. And they've been chosen really because they've made the news for being very, very quiet, and they've caused a few stirs amongst war games at sea and what have you. So the first opponent for the Los Angeles is going to be the Russian Akula. The way this is going to work is both submarines are going to basically patrol towards each other, and we're going to see which one is actually quieter, which one detects the other first, and which one fires its torpedoes first. So first of all, what we can see, the Los Angeles is 27.9 decibels, the Akula is 25.5. Both are set to creep. Both are set to a similar depth. You can see they're doing 5 knots each. I've also obviously, I'm in omniscient view as well to see both submarines and their progress. So we'll slow it down slightly when they get closer to each other, so it's easier to see who detects whom. It's probably a little too early. So it's interesting to see that the Akula, according to command, is a couple of decibels quieter. But they're both pretty quiet because they're really struggling to detect. The towed arrays, the towed sonar isn't operational, but the hull sonar is impassive, obviously. And we're starting to see why submarine warfare is notoriously slow. These guys are close. They must be remarkably quiet submarines. Oh, detection. And it's the Los Angeles that detects and fires first. Now, what I'd suspect is, yeah, the Akula will fire back down this line. Yeah, Los Angeles has detected the torpedoes. And you can see now evasion up to 70, 100, topping out over 100 decibels, because that's because he's trying to evade the torpedoes, although neither are trying too hard. And the Akula's dead. And so is the Los Angeles. Yeah, two very deadly submarines. So the next opponent is going to be the Chinese, the Type 093. Similar generation again, so let's see how they get on. Now, something that I realised was just how close these things have to actually get to each other to detect and to classify. So I'm going to have a look in the log because it's difficult to tell. Yeah, so that's our side detected, or we've detected them. We're from the viewpoint of the American side, by the way. Classified it as an SSGN. What we don't know actually is whether we've been detected and classified, which we'll find out when launched. Yeah, immediately as it was classified and launched on, they launched back down the line. So it's difficult to tell who classifies, who detects and classifies whom first, because as soon as you launch, there's torpedoes coming back at you anyway, and there's yeah. So both sides have hit each other. That torpedo's coming back. So again, it's difficult to tell who really is, because it doesn't really matter who's superior in terms of sensors and stuff. To this degree, it doesn't really matter, because once you launch, there's torpedoes in the water back at you anyway. I suppose, yeah, it'd be difficult. It'd be difficult to pick a winner. So this time it's the turn of the French, who are quite big players in the submarine game. They've got the Rubis of this generation, and we're starting to see a pattern, at least, where it's actually difficult to destroy another near peer submarine and escape with your life. So I imagine that this will probably fit the pattern. We'll see. It's quite loud. That's the first thing to take into account. So you'd expect a pretty early detection and classification. 39 decibels. Yeah, detection. Sonar operator rapidly scurrying around now to try and classify. Classified. Well, initially classified as an SSN, not actually which bolt. Or which type of bolt. There we go. Now it has. Now, has he fired back this time or not? He's running away. It doesn't look like he has. And he's dead. And he ran away and he didn't launch. Amazingly, the French ran away. Obviously, alongside the French, there's the British, and the submarine which is probably closest that the British have to the Los Angeles would probably be the Trafalgar class, which is, I think there's only one left in service. It's an older boat that's been superseded, just like the Los Angeles class has in America, and we'll see how the British do. So this is a pretty quiet boat. It's identical actually to the Los Angeles. The Akula is the quietest so far, but these are the next two. I suppose we'd realise if the enemy actually classified us first, because there'd be torpedoes launched before we launched, and we've detected. Classified as an SSN. As soon as we classify as a Trafalgar, the torpedoes are going out, but will he launch first is the question. Same time, pretty much the same time, which you'd expect two submarines equally as quiet. So we're dead, and he's dead. And we're both dead. Everybody's dead. Submarine warfare, ladies and gents. So we're going to move on to the really most modern submarines around now. The Americans have the Virginia class. This is USS Oklahoma. And on the other end, we've got the Yassen M, Severodonvinsk. Pretty analogous submarines. The latest of the two countries' newest SSNs. We'll see what the difference is. Okay, so slightly quieter for the Virginia. The Yassen command has it ever so slightly quieter. Again, less so than the Los Angeles and the Akula. Okay. So we classified that as an SSN a lot quicker. So yeah, newer submarine, better sensors, what have you. Yeah, so immediate launch again. We haven't detected torpedoes coming back. He knows he's getting shot at. He's trying to run away. He might actually manage it. Although these are Mark 48 torpedoes and they're very good. He's trying to run. He's not going to make it, is he? God, they're deadly torpedoes. Yeah. He's dead. And he didn't fire back either. The Russians ran away. So we're on to the Chinese again now. And the most modern submarine that they have is the Type 095. Again, another pretty analogous pair of submarines, and we'll see if they can do better than the Russians. Quite loud. This is actually louder than a few of the previous generation submarines. Again, the reputation that the Chinese have for submarines, not the best as of yet. Contact and classified within 3 minutes of each other. There we go. And he's running away as well, but he's not going to make it. And he's dead. So the last three haven't actually launched back down the line, which is a surprise. Maybe they didn't have time. Maybe they've just gone into brown alert and turn and run. Maybe that's the thing to do, but all three have died doing it. So obviously a ship that's constantly compared with the Virginia is the Royal Navy's Astute. Again, pretty identical, it looks like, in noise levels. So let's see if the Astute can do any better. Yeah, identical again while moving in terms of decibels as well. So you'd expect this to be a pretty equal fight again. We've detected him. So we detected him ages ago and we still haven't classified him. This is about half an hour later. These guys look like they could sail right past each other. So it looked from that like the Astute actually launched first and the Virginia fired back down the line. That's a first. Yeah, they did. Virginia's gonna die, and it looks like the Astute could die as well. Yeah, both dead. Yeah. So, yeah, two of the oldest navies to use submarines have got two of the best submarines, it looks like. So France has an equally new submarine class, which is the Barracuda class. This is the Submarine. It looks like Command has it depicted as maybe a slightly louder Virginia or Astute, which you'd think would mean another fairly equal fight, maybe slightly slanted towards the Americans in this one, but we will see. Yeah, a few decibels louder. Contact. Contacts. When we've actually first picked up the submarines, they've all been pretty similar, time-wise. Classified. So it didn't take half an hour like last time. And we both launched at more or less the same time again. So the French have launched right down the line of the torpedoes this time. I think it was a pretty identical launch time as well for both submarines. They're not trying to evade in any way, and they've paid for it. modern American and European submarines pretty close to each other in performance, according to command. So the last two submarines are actually pretty interesting because they're not nuclear submarines. We've got, first of all, the German 212, which is air independent propulsion or whatever it's called. It's not diesel, not maybe battery, perhaps not nuclear anyway. Um, it's much vaunted, supposed to be extremely quiet. All submarines with this type of setup are supposed to be really quiet. So we'll see. We'll find out. And it is very. Look at that, 18 decibels. I think that's the quietest submarine we've seen so far. That's going to be a real test. Slightly slower though, maybe 4 knots as opposed to 5 on creep. We've detected him. Much later this time. Look at that, 20:55. It's been usually 20:20 something originally for the others. So it's a quieter submarine, more difficult to detect. We are a noisier submarine to him, relatively, so he should have detected us first. You'd imagine he would classify us first and launch first. Suppose that comes down to sensors. We've got an Astute situation again where it's starting to look like they're going to sail right past each other. It's now half an hour since we detected. We haven't classified, so we're back into real Astute territory. Two very quiet boats. Yeah, he fired first, I think, but it was pretty identical. And we're both dead. I think maybe he just launched ever so slightly first. We immediately counter launched, and our torpedoes were faster, so he died ever so slightly first. But yeah, it's obviously its reputation precedes it, and it's well earned. So this is another boat with formidable reputation. Apparently, this thing quote sank the USS Ronald Reagan in a naval exercise a few years ago. So that's the reason why this has been included. It's another SSK hunter killer submarine, so not nuclear powered, similar to the German boat. So I'd imagine it'd be quite quiet. We'll see. We'll see if it can sink a submarine as well as a carrier. Yeah, 19.4. So another quiet submarine. These air independent boats are, yeah, frightening things to go up against, I'd imagine. Classified 2050 contact 2052. So yeah, again a late contact detection. I'd imagine it's going to be another case of nearly sailing right past each other by the time they get classified. Yeah, they're getting close again. There's going to be a launch soon. There has to be. Yeah, we launched first, I think. I think that was just us first, but it's like a snapshot back down the line of those torpedoes that everybody makes. I think we've had a first there where Both sets of torpedoes missed, turn round. And that's our torpedoes acquired again. God, they're dangerous, these things, and it's a hit. And that boat's crippled. How are we doing for damage? We've got fire, floods, 91% damage. We're not getting home, I don't think, on that. But the other torpedo missed. It looked for a little while like our the both torpedoes have missed, but they didn't. And I don't think you're going home after that, are you? Let's see if he 97, 98, 99 sunk. Yeah, couldn't control the flooding and fire as well. So there we have it. That's modern submarines. Very dangerous, very deadly. All dangerous to each other. There's some crossover in terms of generations. Some of the older generations can probably kill some of the new generations. It's just really deadly stuff, submarine warfare. It looks like in command. It's a lot of resources go into these things. The most dangerous of the lot seem to be the Virginia, the Astute, and the German Type 212. They're the ones that seem like the most scary submarines, but that said, all extremely dangerous. If you want to sink a carrier in this game, I'd bring a submarine to do the job because, yeah, difficult to spot, deadly torpedoes, rapid torpedoes as well. These modern torpedoes, just terrifying things. Yeah, don't fight submarines, and if you have to, bring a lot of anti-submarine warfare frigates. Folks, if you like this video, then do give it a like, and if there's any other areas in command that you'd like me to cover in videos like this, then let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.